Drogba indirdi cezana Snyder. Snyder gol! Allah'ım gol! Muslera! Fernando Muslera! Golün adı Muslera! Sarıyoglu, Drogba! This is incredible!
Hello, and welcome to episode 42 of The Lions Den, a Galatasaray podcast done by the community for the community. Straight out of New York, they call me Emre, and I'll be your host for today. In advance to introducing my co-hosts, we want to take a minute to let you know about our Discord community server, where we hang out, watch Galatasaray games, and discuss the games, and even play other games with each other. If you're interested in joining, hit us up on Twitter at the Lions Den GS to get a special invite. With that said, on to the lads. Yasin, my neighbor, how you doing?
Doing good, my man. Doing good. It's been a crazy busy week at work. Another crazy busy week to come. But Galatasaray and the Houston Rockets, well, not the Houston Rockets, but my boy Alperen Şengün on the Houston Rockets is keeping things entertaining for me. So I'm doing good otherwise.
Yeah, Alperen's doing us Turkish people proud.
Yeah.
I'm very happy for him, man.
Future All-Star. If you guys are not paying attention, if you're, a basketball enthusiast or you don't mind watching sometimes, watch this kid. He's 20 years old. Future All-Star is all I'll say.
Watch him get dunked on as well.
Listen,
I saw that yesterday.
That happens, okay? At least he's not afraid to go up for a block. He got dunked on twice. It was a bad, ugly poster, but he also had 3 really good blocks apart from that. So you got to respect his fight. He's trying.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll see him at the Galatasaray basketball team. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm going to try and bring you along with me to watch the either the Nets or the Knicks. So I'm going to have you pick. I'll buy your tickets, and we're going to go watch that together, hopefully, okay?
Oh, I'd love to see them smash the Nets. So the Nets it is.
Yeah.
No! God, please, no! No!
Hi, this is your original host and editor Samet. I apologize for the American basketball talk. I'm back next episode and we'll make sure to set them straight. And if you did enjoy it, just ignore me. Now back to the episode.
All right. And my brother, 17 kilometers away from us, Mazhar, how are you doing, man? It's been a while since you were last on.
Yeah, I'm good. It's been a number of weeks, like you said, since I've been last on. Well, as you boys know, it's because I'm getting married. Our listeners don't know, but yeah, your boy's getting married, so been
My man got hitched.
I'm getting hitched, not hitched yet. Yeah, so I've been doing all
potato.
Listen, Muz, you're getting married. That's exciting. We're happy for you, but that's not in any way an excuse for you to miss episodes. We have Samet, our main guy, had a baby for the first time, and he still makes episodes happen. So no excuses from you, okay? We're excited for you, but
that's Summit, bro. That's Summit. I'm not Summit.
It doesn't matter. You need to be like Summit.
No one can be Summit. No matter how you try, no one can be like Summit.
I'm not him,
He's a
bro.
special character. We love him.
Yeah.
All right, then. All right, everyone knows we played a very butt-clenching game with Antalya. But before we go straight into that, we have quite a bit of news on the horizon. So who'd like to go with what they want to talk about? Any interesting news that you want to go first with?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. Some of it is exciting news. Some of it is just, fun conversation topics. So, I guess related to the club and its future, we can start with the extensions of Emin Bayram and Baran, 2 youth players who both extended until 2026. They had years left. It's not like their contracts were ending, but fortunately for them, they're getting better. They're seen as a future for the club, and the club is rewarding them with a better contract. And then you got guys like Sergio Oliveira on Instagram commenting on their posts saying, "Hey, Emin Bayram, now you can pay for dinner." So it's great to see. We have Samet and a lot of other fans that are very excited about the future of these guys. So to see them get those professional contracts long term and getting paid more money in this, not so great Turkish economy, I'm super happy for them.
Yeah. Samet's going to move on from fanboying Patrick Van Aanholt to Emin Bayram now. It's going to be nice to see.
Got him!
Sure.
What do you guys... there's just one thing that's been floating around, and it's regarding Riza Çalınbay. He's been complaining and constantly talking about our games. Maz, do you think this guy has like a Galatasaray complex? I don't know if it's because he's Beşiktaş or whatnot, but he's constantly talking about us.
Yeah, I think because there's a ex, well, not an ex, well, he used to play for Beşiktaş back in the days. I think he might have some sort of hatred for Galatasaray. I think he's just saying stuff to stay relevant, really. I don't know if our listeners saw our tweet, but our tweet went, can I say viral? Can I use that word?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went somewhat viral, and it was
Blew
a pretty
up for
funny
sure.
tweet. Yeah, it blew up, but he's just saying things to stay relevant and just be controversial.
It's just funny because he does this every year, only in Galatasaray games. He will get screwed over in Beşiktaş games and Fenerbahçe games. Like he, pretty much lost the Fenerbahçe game due to 2 ref mistakes. Most people would agree. But no, he wants to complain about one mistake in our game that went, one mistake that finally went our way. That's what he wants to talk about, but not, everybody else. So I definitely feel like Galatasaray heard him somewhere. We should ask him where Galatasaray heard him. Point it out,
Beşiktaş, bro. Beşiktaş.
Yeah, boy.
I mean, it's in their DNA, man. What can we do?
I just don't understand why he just keeps bringing this stuff up. Like he commented on again after it's been what, like a week, 2 weeks since the incident, maybe more than that, since that call happened, and he's still bringing attention to it. Like it was you, right? You said it after the game. You're like, this guy has a Galatasaray complex, and you're just proven to be right once again.
I guess I take no L's, bro. Watch his tombstone have something Galatasaray related to. Jesus Christ. All right, enough about Riza Çalınbay. What do you guys think about Uğur Çiftçi? There's apparently something going on there. We were all expecting him to be here, even playing this last Antalya game, and he hasn't been playing. Apparently, we were supposed to switch Emre Taşdemir with them on top of 600K, but Emre Taşdemir doesn't want to go. So that seemed to have caused a commotion there. What do you guys think about that?
Can you blame him? I mean, the guy, I think we made a lot of good points on why it's a weird transfer for Emre to go there, to want to go there, for even Sivas to want him. But, he played well this last game, so he's kind of increased his value. Now it's just a matter of convincing him, I think. There's been a lot of back and forth on whether he's going to go. Some people are saying it's done. Some people say we're able to convince him. And then other people are now saying that Sivas is looking for an alternative. And once that alternative is finished, then they will release Uğur Çiftçi to come to us. It doesn't look like we've given up on it, which is a good thing. And another good thing, which is what I was concerned about, which hasn't come up in the news yet, is other Istanbul clubs being interested in Uğur Çiftçi. Maybe they thought just like us that Uğur Çiftçi would cost a couple million. And now they're seeing that Sivas is actually not asking for a lot. I was concerned if we couldn't finish this quickly, Beşiktaş or Fenerbahçe might swoop in, because I'm sure they can use a decent Turkish left back in this Yabancı Kuralı Super League that we have. So I haven't seen anything like that. I'm hoping this gets finished up soon. I believe some people said that he might even be playing for us next game. But yeah, we'll see. Maz, any thoughts on that?
You said pretty much everything. I think Riza Çalınbay came out and said that they weren't going to release Uğur Çiftçi without getting a left back, which would have been solved if Emre Taşdemir went in the swap. But there's not much
honestly,
to say, really. You go on?
I was going to say I don't know why they picked Emre Taşdemir. Emre Taşdemir probably looked at their field and saw Vietnam flashbacks, and he's like, nah, I'm not going. No way I'm going. He already gets injured on our field nonstop. Can you think about Sivas's potato field? It's not even a field. I can't even call it a field.
Why didn't we give up Patrick Van Aanholt up instead?
Yeah, these guys...
That is also a good point.
That's a good point. But these guys come to Istanbul and they don't really want to go anywhere else. Kind of related to that,
especially
actually.
Sivas.
Yeah.
Where it's constantly cold.
I mean, they have great fans. They have a good atmosphere. They're a pretty big club compared to most Anadolu clubs. So you need to respect that. But... once those Yabancı guys, the foreigners get a taste of Istanbul, they don't really want anything else. And related to that, if you don't mind me shifting, Seferovic is actually rumored to go to now Başakşehir. I haven't seen a very reputable source say this yet, but I think Sivas, I think a couple other clubs were interested in him, but he and his family didn't want to go to a different city because his kids are already accustomed to, I think, the Istanbul school district. And, His wife is very happy. If you guys follow her on Instagram, she loves Istanbul, and she's one of those yenges that actually really love exploring Istanbul. So I'm sure they don't want to move. And Başakşehir, I think it could make sense for them. He's actually not a bad striker if he's confident. And a lot of these yabancı guys, they tend to go to Başakşehir if things don't work out for them at Fenerbahçe, Galatasaray, Beşiktaş. So maybe we can be on the lookout for that news too.
Yeah, I like Sefo.
All these players, they want to play for Istanbul teams, but you gotta play at the Istanbul standard. I mean,
Istanbul, what's that?
the Istanbul standard. It's Galatasaray. You're talking about the big three. It's Galatasaray, Fener, and Beşiktaş. All these players want to stay at Istanbul, but you gotta play up to the standard.
Yeah.
Implying others have standards. Gotcha.
That's a
All
different
right.
conversation.
So, speaking of loans and stuff, what do you guys think about Yusuf Demir potentially going to Sivas or Eyüpspor or another club in Turkey to play to get some time and minutes? Because that's possibly on the horizon.
I'm definitely not for it. I think we haven't given him enough time. He needs to get much more game time before we can really make a decision like that. Of course, we don't see him in trainings. Or Kanuja does see him in trainings, and he knows better than us. But having said that, it's too early. It's too early. He needs to play at least a couple more games, like at least 30, 45 minutes. See what this kid's made of.
I honestly think it was a bad idea to transfer him, not because of the player he is, it's because he was in the foreign rule, right? He's counted as a foreigner, and I just don't understand why we chose to transfer him. Like, it doesn't really make sense if you think about it. We're already strapped for Turkish players, and we're just trying nonstop to get a Turkish left back, so we can play other players. But it is what it is. I personally think he should go for like a 6-month loan just to get some time, and so he's not rusty. What do you think, Yasin?
Yeah,
I know you're a big proponent of Yusuf Demir.
Yeah. I don't want to repeat last podcast conversation to too much detail, but I think a loan is a good idea. We already discussed why he's not playing a lot of minutes. There's, some people have thoughts on, it could be from a personal level, maybe it could be from he's not good enough. It could be because there's just a lot better players ahead of him right now. Regardless of the case, any player that's not playing a lot right now, the best thing for them is to play minutes elsewhere if there's an option. However, I do want to comment on the two cities that you mentioned, or two clubs, Sivas and Eyüpspor. I would not want him to go there. I'd rather he stay with us, only because Sivas, Riza, Çalınbay, and at Sivas, is he going to really... I don't know. I'd rather he go to a club for a manager that's really going to bring him to the next level. And then as for Eyüpspor, that's a second league team. I'd rather, if he's going to go somewhere, he's going to play in the Super League. If we think of successful loan spells in the past, you look at, maybe right now, even like Taylan and Emin. That was his name, right? I'm like blanking out now. But the two guys that went to Ankaragücü, they're playing more.
No, Emre Kılınç.
Emre Kılınç. I know that was a bad moment. But yeah, they're playing.
I was like, who's Emin that we had that we sent away?
I am always calling Emir. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyways, going to a club like that with a coach that's kind of doing well, has his team playing organized football, or Yusuf. Last year when he went Adana Demirspor, Yunus Akgün, something like that would be good for him too. So I think we need to be careful where we send these players on loan, because we've made the mistake of just sending players on loan to just send them on loan. But in reality, the clubs that we sent them to, it didn't do them any good. In fact, it probably brought them even further, a couple steps backwards. So we do need to be careful with that. But if we can find a good club, I think we should do it.
Yeah, maybe we can pull a Muratan or Mustafa Mohamed type transfer and send him to leagues that are way better, where he can actually get some good experience. But yeah, now on to something really interesting that I've been I've been waiting for years for this to happen. We finally upgraded our dressing room, guys. Dude, this dressing room looked like something out of the 80s, man. And this stadium was built in what, 2010s, right? If I recall, maybe earlier.
Yeah.
But we upgraded it. It looks fantastic now. You guys seen it, right?
It looks like a freaking, world-class team's dressing room. Like that's what we are, and we finally have a dressing room to go with that. It looks gorgeous.
And the Galatasaray logo on the ceiling there, and everything is red. It just looks awesome.
Bro, I love that we finally did that, man. It's awesome. And one more thing regarding the team or the club in general. I found this fascinating, but Ayhan Akman and Okan Buruk just became members of Gala. It's interesting. I thought they were already, members of the club, like they were US, They just became US. Like, I don't understand how that is. Did you guys not know that either, or am I living under a rock?
I didn't. I mean, I think we briefly talked about the whole membership, the status of becoming one, the steps to become one in the past and how complicated it was. And, Okan Buruk after the game himself was like, I stepped into Galatasaray club at 11 years old. I played through the youth system. I played for the A takım for all these years, and I just became, a member today, and I'm very happy about it. He didn't criticize it out of respect, but he kind of sent a discreet message there saying, look, I've been here all this time, and I've just become a member. Same thing with Ayhan Akman. I'm not sure what the system is like. Maybe somebody might need to look into, I don't know if you guys know any better, but it definitely looks a bit flawed, or it could be a little bit more simple for people who have actually done a big service for this club for such a long time. I think there should be some sort of exception to get these guys involved way sooner.
Yeah, I mean, winning a UEFA Cup for the club should automatically, embroider you with the damn membership, automatically, and your kids' kids too. It's such a big. I mean, he was such a big proponent in our history. It's funny to me that he's just becoming a member. I don't know.
It makes you wonder what other big names are out there that are not members. And being a member gives you the right to vote at every single election that we have. And these elections are a lot of times close, right? Burak Elmas or whoever else in the past, they've all been pretty close votes. And if you guys remember correctly, it's always the last couple ballots that are casted from the recent high school graduates that are young men and women that have barely know anything about Galatasaray history, and they're deciding the future of this club. And there's also rumors out there that these guys that are voting are not even Galatasaray fans. So it really makes you wonder, how accurate are those elections, and how well do they represent Galatasaray fans and Galatasaray club? So
there's also one more thing I want to add. By Okan Buruk becoming a member of the club, it just shows how invested he is into Galatasaray.
Yeah.
Because the past couple of weeks, we've won 9 out of 9 now. I've been thinking, I'm like, oh man, Okan might get swept up by a European club somewhere in the near future. But becoming a Galatasaray member, it's really showing to me. He's like, I just care about Galatasaray. I don't care about anything else, and I appreciate that.
I'm sorry, I have to cut you there. It's me, Samet, and I can't agree with what you just said, Mas. Nonetheless, I'll just let you continue. But for next episode, I'll be sure to remember this.
Yeah, sure, man. Sometimes some people really had a question mark in the back of their head thinking, is he really invested in Galatasaray? Is he not? Is he just here to ride off the club's back for success? But he's proven a lot of people wrong.
Yeah.
So this one interview by Arda Turan, I don't know if you guys saw this, bro. It was really funny. So he said this was regarding Falcao's during Fatih Terim's time. They were in training, right? When Falcao was injured, he said, I supported him a lot. He said, one day he scored a goal in training and I said, bravo, Tigre. And Fatih coach, he said, Tigre. And yeah, he said, I said Tigre. That's his nickname. He said, oh, we haven't been able to see that yet. Him being a tiger and all.
Yeah, Fatih Terim calls it like it is.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I'm thinking about that now. How bad did we get burned? How bad?
Emotionally,
by Falcao. Emotionally, mentally,
I
and
still
physically,
haven't recovered.
Yeah, physically as well, because there isn't, my tables have been smashed a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to say. It was unfortunate. He just stayed injured. But it's good that we can look back and laugh at things like these.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, there's a lot of unfortunate things that are tied to that whole transfer. Whether it's Al-Bayrak and his whole strategy of transfers, the way that he leaks everything, the way that he hypes everything, leading fans to just absolutely demand transfers that maybe don't make sense. I mean, when that transfer rumor first broke out, there were a lot of fans who were realistic and didn't fall into the hype immediately. And they were like, what are we doing? Falcao, this guy's injured. You know, he doesn't play that much. You know, he's going to cost millions and millions. People were realistic in the beginning. And then when the rumors added up, you know, Albayrak and the board didn't deny the rumors. You know, all these other little things start to build up. And the people who were talking sense now start to fall into the hype. How can you not? How can you
the
not?
hype
It's Falcao.
compounded, bro.
I love the hype. You can't not love transfer hype, especially when a big name is out. Like Galatasaray, we're known to bring these big players year after year after year. But you know, that's what I like about Erden Timur. He keeps everything on the down low. He says when we look for transfers, we look for this, that. There's certain criteria, and hey, you know, knock on wood, a lot of these transfers that so far, the big names, the small names, the young guys, the older guys, the experienced ones, they've all proven to be pretty great so far. So, big upgrade. Hopefully, no more of those
Big
mistakes
upgrade
in the future.
and not a lot of spent.
Yeah.
So I think we got about through most of the news that we wanted to cover.
One more thing, and actually, Emre, I think it's one of the biggest, most recent news is the entire. So correct me if I'm wrong now, if I say anything wrong. 40 blocks of the entire stadium where fans sit were banned from attending this Antalyaspor game. And
okay, I was gonna get into that.
If go ahead. You'll probably explain it better than me.
No, you go ahead. No, I mean, so basically, you know, because that we were cursing during the Hatay game, I guess we were cursing, but I think they over-exaggerated. What I heard was they had people from the PDFK seated everywhere in the stadium, right? You know, they're like little secret agents that listen and report back. And so they reported that everybody was cursing, this, that. And so they decided to, you know, ban 40 blocks of seats, which amounted to about 25 to 30K people, which blew my mind. I don't think I've ever seen a stadium like that, you know, or a situation like that where that many people were banned because of cursing. Anywho, yeah, 25 to 30K people were banned. But since we're Galatasaray, since we're the best team in the world, we filled that into all the remaining seats in 24 hours. 24 hours. Big up to the fans that went. Big up to the fans that transferred their tickets back to the club. Like I can't praise the team enough, the fans enough.
Yeah.
There's
if you guys haven't, yeah.
I just want to add one thing. They put the ban after the tickets went on sale. So the tickets got sold in like a minute or something like that. And then they banned the 40 blocks. And then the people who got banned forwarded the tickets back to the club.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
It's almost like they did it on purpose. Well, that's my research. That's from what I heard. But they almost did it on purpose. It feels like.
Dude, these guys are just messing with us because I recall during the Fenerbahce derby, Fenerbahce fans cursing the hell out of us before, during, and after the game, but yet they didn't get anywhere near the amount of penalties that we got. Yep. So yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy. Then people want to say we get too much leniency in the club, or we ask for, you know, leniency ourselves, which is absolutely not true. But, you know, it is what it is. People can cry, and we'll just continue winning.
Yeah, Emre,
as we usually do.
You bring a good point with that Fenerbahce thing. I mean, I try to watch as many games as there is in Beşiktaş that I can, and Fenerbahce fans are just constantly, like, in unison, like the entire stadium, it sounds like it, are cursing the ref, cursing TFF, cursing their own players, of course, like the idiots that they are. And often, beIN Sports is having to like reduce the sound that's coming from the stadium, so the viewer, like you and myself at home, can't hear that. But I've never seen them get this large of a ban or anywhere near it because of their cursing. So like, you know, where's the equality? You know, where's the fairness of this? I didn't understand it. Other fans are probably gonna be like, oh, Galatasaray is complaining again. Their fans are always something to complain about. No, we're just asking for equality. If you're gonna ban us, okay, fine. Ban 40,000 people, but do it for the other teams too. That's the problem.
This is they don't get this. This is the premise that they just it goes in one ear, goes out the other. And yeah, dude, it's like the PDFK is just playing three monkeys at this point. They don't care for equality because they they just see us doing good and they're trying to stop us in any way or shape. Because our home fans, like, we're up there, man. I think we got the best home support in the league. They know that. And so they're trying to reduce that. And it didn't work. So here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
I love
with
it
all
when
that said,
this.
I think we got.
Yeah, I just want to say I love it
Yeah.
when this team, these fans, this club does what they need to, regardless of who's trying to stop them. I mean, there's going to be times where we fall to their pressure, to their bullshit calls, whatever they're trying to do. But often, Galatasaray does a great job of getting together and saying "fuck you" to TFF, "fuck you" to these other clubs, and still coming on top. And that's another one of a million reasons why I'm so proud to be a Galatasaray fan. I'm just really proud
Absolutely.
of that.
It's the honor, man. Like, nothing like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's to another week. Another 2-1 butt-clenching win against Antalya at home. We are essentially 2-1 Saray. That should be our name. We should be renamed to 2-1 Saray at this point. So who wants to talk about, who wants to introduce us to the game?
I don't mind. Again, as you said last time, I'm not going to do as good of a job as Mr. John, Mr. Coach Canada that's missing today. Man's been busy.
Mr. Catch 'em all.
Mr. Catch 'em all. But I'm going to try. I'm going to keep it brief because we can just talk about what we saw during the game. But Antalyaspor, Mr. Nuri Şahin, a lot of fans preferred this guy over Okan Buruk at the beginning of the season, including myself. We played against him yesterday in Istanbul. And we came out with the 4-2-3-1 as expected. And our lineup was pretty strong. We had Muslera in net. From right to left, we had Sacha Bowie, Victor Nelson, Mr. Bardakçı, and Emre Taşdemir on the left back position. The guy that we thought was disappearing to Sivasspor has started for us this game. I don't know how many people thought that was going to happen. In front of them was Lux Torreira and Sergio Oliveira, because a lot of you guys are calling me out for saying Oliveira incorrectly. I'll fix myself. And in front of them is Rashica, Dries Mertens, and Kerem on the left side. And on front, Mr. Icardi. So that was our lineup. Antalyaspor had a lot
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Mr. Steal Your Girl. Mr. After games, I'm flying off to wherever I am immediately. We'll talk about that later. But on the other side of the pitch, Mr. Nuri Şahin's team, this guy that I never heard of, Helton Late, their goalkeeper, number 90, that was transferred 2 days ago, started in net. I don't know how many of us even heard of this guy beforehand. Their defense, Güray Vural, one of the left back guys that we were interested in not too long ago. Ömer Toprak, Veysel Sarı, aka ex-Mr. Galatasaray. On the right side, a guy named Sheral Floranis. Not sure if I'm saying that correctly. In the midfield, they had Soner Aydoğdu, Ufuk Akyol. On the wings, they had Sam Larson, Admir Mehmedi, so the Japanese midfielder, number 10, Shoya Nakajima, who was pretty good that game. And out front, they had Luis Adriano, who ended up scoring against us. A lot of surprises. When I say surprise, it's not their usual lineup, and maybe that's what caught us off guard this game, but that's how the game started, lineup-wise. Do you want to talk about that first before we get into the first half? What do you guys think?
I mean, yeah, I wasn't too surprised. I feel like 9 out of the 11 of the players were pretty much standard. Yeah. It's just Emre Taşdemir and Rashica. So, and the only reason why Emre Taşdemir played is because Okan Hoca wanted Rashica to play. Yeah, a bit of a shocker, I guess. But every week, he's playing to a certain standard, and more often than not, above standard.
Yeah,
he didn't maybe put his best performance today, but it's, I guess, just a change for this week.
Yeah, what'd you think of the lineup?
Yeah, I think it was like Mas said, it's kind of the standard lineup. Maybe Dubois could have played, and Rashica was kind of like on this downward trend in his form. Like you can see it, especially this game as well. But before we go into that, I was actually expecting maybe Barış, if not at worst Yunus, so we can see Dubois. Because I don't know, Dubois has been playing great. He's doing things that we expect left backs to do while being a right back. But I didn't complain about the lineup. So yeah, that's about it for me.
Did you guys think Emre Taşdemir maybe played just because of the Turkish limit, or was you think maybe Okan Hoca is trying to send a message to any team that's considering Emre touched him and look, this guy might have injury problems sometimes, but he's ready to play today. And not only is he ready to play today, he's ready to play for Galatasaray and going to put a good performance in. Because in my opinion, he played pretty well. I think he was impressive once again for a guy that rarely plays. He did his job on the left side. And if I'm any other Super League team, I would say, hey, if this guy's going to stay healthy, which is what I hope, he's going to be a pretty good asset for us going forward for the rest of the season and for the years to come. So I'm curious if Okan Hoca thought about that. I thought it was a big surprise. Usually when a guy is rumored to leave and you're including him in a transfer, you're trying to sell him, you play it safe. You don't play the guy. You say, oh, he's hurt. He's not ready. I preferred XYZ players over him instead, and he sits the bench. And often it's also because you don't want to risk him getting injured because he's part of your equation and getting him out of the team and bringing somebody else. And I thought it's even riskier because of Emre touched him and how injury prone he is to play him when you're considering getting rid of him. So, hey, in hindsight, it's easier to say, but props to Okan Hoca for believing in Emre Teshemir in this game and, risking him. It helped.
If I was any other team,
yeah,
I would just look at it like, Okan Hoca used one of the 3 remaining games he has available before he gets injured. GG's, so.
Does he even make it to the third game? Usually it's the first game and he just gets injured at the end of the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think his average is about 2 games before he gets injured. Like Samet says, he's consistent at getting injured.
But look, he's also a great player. I got to give that to him. I've been saying this for a couple of years now. He's always been playing to a certain level. He's always been good in terms of skill, at least. But yeah, his injury proneness can be discussed about.
Yeah, he's a good player, bro. If he just didn't get injured nonstop, his speed is what is great about him. He's just fast, man. You don't really see fast left backs, and he raises his head when he gets into the box to cross or give a good pass. Yeah. So yeah, Maz, you're on point, bro. You speak facts.
Yeah. That's the lineup. In the first half, I thought we didn't come out as strong as I thought we would, given, it's a home game and we have 50,000 fans in attendance. A lot of us thought that this might be an easier game. You had guys like me making crazy predictions of 6-0, mostly for fun, but still, a lot of people were comfortable about this game. And it wasn't until the second half that we saw goals. In the first half, we had chances. Their goalie, Mr. Helton Late, decided to play like Manuel Neuer, aka Muslera, that world-class level goalkeeping. It's not like we didn't have chances. I think in the first half, let me pull up the stats real quick. We had 55% possession. We had 10 shots total, 2 on target. 4 of them were blocked. We had 10 corner kicks, 9 shots inside the box. We dominated with the passes and possession. I mean, we didn't do anything really wrong. It's just a matter of them kind of playing to a higher level and standard than they usually do. And that's applause to Antalyaspor and Nuri Şahin for keeping up with us in the first half. But I'm glad that we didn't really lower the throttle in the second half, which is what we usually see. It was beginning to get concerning. Okay, we put this good performance in the first. Are we going to get our heads down? Is a goalkeeper going to save their day or we're going to lose points? But that wasn't the case. Apart from that, there wasn't really too much crazy action in the first half. Did you guys have anything that you want to touch on before we get into the second half and the goals?
Mazhar, you usually watch these games really late at night. What did you think of the first half? Was it good enough, content enough for you to stay up and keep watching?
No, it really wasn't. I think we did not play that great, especially in the first half. I think we weren't dominant at all. I think most people would agree with me on that.
It's Samet again. And nope, I don't agree with that. Back to you, man.
Anyway, did we play bad? No, we didn't play bad. But did we play to the level that we're used to Galatasaray playing for the past 10 or so weeks? No. I think Nuri Şahin and Antalyaspor, they made a really good game plan against us. They made us run a lot. They really did put the pressure on a couple of times there. But, of course, we were the better team at the end of it. The second half especially, I think we put our foot down on the accelerator a bit. First half, I feel like we were worse. Second half, we did pick up a bit. And as I was
Yep.
saying before, sorry, I feel like they made us run a lot. I don't know if you guys noticed the same thing, but we're running a lot. And there was a couple of positions, I think it was Sergio Oliveira. The ball was rolling just like a step away from him, and he was too tired to even take a step. I don't know if it was just that game in particular where our opponent's game plan was making us tired, but
Absolutely.
I think
Yeah.
I think we need to wake up. I think our team needs to wake up. I think we went in there a bit cocky. We'll take the win. We've won Finna, this, that. We're on that high. No, that didn't happen.
No, if you're done, like I was just gonna agree with you. They came out with a plan, man. I've noticed this. They like said we are not playing out from the back whatsoever. Every time we got close to their box, they just yeeted the ball up the field constantly. And the guy, what's the guy's name? Nakajima
Yeah.
caused a lot of problems for us. Made our boys run because he's good at holding the ball and running with the ball. And so I feel like Nelson is not that good when he has to take someone one-on-one, while running with them. He's good at positioning. We all know this, right? Nelson is a god when it comes to positioning. But when it comes to running with people, he kind of gets his problems start to surface. And so I think they had one really good position, but I think it was offside where they yeeted the ball to him. Nakajima took the ball and crossed it, or he placed it into the box, and it came. The guy shot it. I forgot. I think it was Larson. It came off the post.
Mm-hmm.
The whole situation was offside to begin with. If I recall seeing the position after the fact. They had a few more positions if they were just better with the ball. See, this is what happens when you're missing like 6 players. Your quality isn't there, right? They could have really punished us, and I think a lot of teams are starting to realize our weaknesses, and they're going to play on that, man. It's natural, right? Everyone was praising Besiktas and Fenerbahce early in the season, like, oh, look how good they're playing. They got a strong game, and people quickly, shut them down because. Like, it's not hard to analyze teams and try to formulate a counter to it. So yeah, we definitely did struggle a lot in the first half, I will admit, but we were a lot better in the second half. I think Okan Hoca kind of modified how we were playing in the second half. But before we go on, I guess Yasin, you can take us into the second half because I don't think there's much to talk about on the first half.
I mean, just before moving on to that, I think this team in general, maybe the reason for why we were not as strong as a lot of fans thought we were going to be in the first half is maybe we underestimated the team. We're on quite the win streak, and a lot of fans, or a lot of the players, I should say, are quite confident coming into the game, maybe borderline cocky. And we might have taken Antalyaspor for granted. We knew that they had players missing. We knew they were towards the bottom of the table. We knew we had our home support. So I think the intensity was a bit lacking. I
don't think so, man. I don't agree with that, to be honest.
For certain players, I think that is the case. And I was going to bring up Sergio's name. Sergio, for the last few weeks, he's been good at distributing the ball and the attack and finding chances. But I haven't been that impressed with his tracking back, getting into tackles. Even sometimes, 15, 20 yards outside our box when the other team has the ball. I don't see him really going into a challenge with force. I see him just kind of just running. He's not jogging where it's embarrassingly bad, but I'd rather see him put a little bit more pressure. He's not going to be Torreira's level by any means. He's not going to be like Fernando. He's not going to be like Melo, but I still expect a little bit more intensity from him. And that's made, in my opinion, Lucas's job even more difficult. Add to that, I think Okan has been asking Lucas to play a little bit more upwards pressure. You often see this game, Lucas is putting pressure ahead of where Sergio is standing. You think that Lucas is a last guy in the midfield, in front of our center backs, and then it's Sergio, and then it's Dries Mertens. A lot of the times, if you just pause the game, you'll see Lucas Torreira ahead of Sergio playing upwards pressure, kind of helping Dries Mertens a little bit. Meanwhile, I think it should be the other way around. I mean, at worst, they should be sharing that responsibility. But instead, Lucas is having to put that pressure in the back, win balls, sweep balls back there. And he's having to put pressure up top too. The last 2 games, what we've praised Lucas for is coming back randomly, Hatayspor player has the ball. They're dribbling up towards us. And then out of nowhere, you see Lucas Torreira come from behind and tackle the ball. That's great. He's doing his job really well, and I love that. But he shouldn't be forced to having to do that all the time. If the guy next to him, in this case Sergio, does a better job helping him balance out that defensive pressure, we wouldn't need to count on Lucas playing an exceptional game to win those balls back. Because if half those balls that Lucas has won from behind, he didn't do because he didn't have his best game, if he had an average game, who knows, how many other chances that the other teams would have had. So I don't want to depend on Lucas Torreira having an exceptional game every single game. And, we've talked about it in the past few years, if your midfield is not strong, it kind of lowers the intensity and how great the rest of the team plays. So it's a soft criticism, but it is a criticism towards Sergio.
It's been my criticism for a
Since
while,
the beginning.
man. With Sergio, and I got a lot of shit for
For
it.
sure, since the beginning. But I think the last few weeks, he's even dropped that intensity a little bit more, where it's more noticeable because the guys around him, for the most part, have had their intensity stay high and increasing. Meanwhile, I think he's kind of just played. He's playing very relaxed, and we haven't had that punish us yet. But I would not be surprised if we get punished for it in the next couple of weeks if we continue to play, or if he continues to play the way he is.
I totally agree with you, and I'm glad you bring that up. Look, Torreira is a phenomenal player, man of the match in my opinion. But I don't like him playing next to Mertens. I can see why Okan Hoca does that. He wants him to press as soon as we lose the ball in the midfield and get the ball back. But in reality, that doesn't always work. He's not going to get the ball 10 out of 10 times. There's going to be a couple of times where he doesn't. And those couple of times where he doesn't, I think it's going to bite us back in the ass. Because we know that Oliveira's defensive capability isn't the best. I don't see the logic in doing that when you can just put Oliveira next to Mertens and have Torreira holding the back line. I don't really
Oliveira's
get it.
slow though, bro. He's slow.
Yeah, exactly. All the more reasons why you shouldn't have him playing in the back. It's almost like we have 3 in the back or 4 in the back, and Oliveira is one of them. You'll have one of the fullbacks up front. You'll have Torreira up front. So that will leave, I don't know, for argument's sake, Emre Tashdemir, our 2 centre backs, and then Oliveira in the back. There's often times where that does happen, and I don't feel comfortable seeing that personally. I don't know about you guys, but I don't really like it.
My theory is that he has Torreira playing up there because, like Yasin said, we want to get the ball back as fast as possible, and Torreira just has this insane acceleration to him where he can just catch up to anyone and get grab the ball. Yes, there are times when they do happen to get the ball behind them, but remember this game, there was this one time where Torreira came from their midfield. I think he ran 50 meters and he stole a ball off a Antalya player. That's Torreira. That's the insurance policy that you have with Torreira. That's why he's Torreira. And that's why he played for big teams like Arsenal and Fiorentina. And why they still, well, not Arsenal, but Fiorentina still wants him. And he's good. People say he's probably one of the best CDMs in the league because he provides this for you and he gives you the opportunity to have Oliveira in the midfield. Even if he's just slow as hell, he's still a body there that can potentially, stop or slow them down for the team to just get back to the field and set it up.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I don't know.
No, I think
I'm
it's
not
fine.
criticizing Torreira's abilities, but
Oh no, I'm not saying you guys are, but I'm saying why Okan has him playing like that and not just having him sit back like a traditional CDM in the middle of the midfield, or close to the center backs. That's what I'm saying.
It's only a matter of weeks before one of our opponents figure this out and gives an over-the-top ball over Torreira. Torreira can't press and get the ball if they're doing a through ball to the opposite side.
I think
of the
that's
field.
the design, bro. I think that's the design. I think Okan Buruk knows that that's a possibility, and he's taking that risk.
Yeah.
High risk, high reward, right?
Yeah.
What was our biggest weakness against Antalyaspor? They didn't come through the middle. They came through the long balls.
Well, they tried coming, but
Yeah,
Abdülkerim and Nelson is just godlike right now. They're playing great, and it's unfortunate Abdülkerim is suspended next game, and Nelson potentially injured. I don't know if there's been new news about that, but anyway, I know like Antalya played well, and even Okan Buruk said that maybe them missing so many players gave them the option to just really find that new motivation with the players that have been waiting to play, right? Because like also I've mentioned this before, Okan Buruk analyzes his teams, right? He analyzes teams before he plays, and then when a team comes out with like 6 different players, you all to come out with a slightly different tactic, right? And I'm thinking maybe he didn't have as much time to analyze and prepare. That's why I think we came out second half way better, because I think he just had that time, that momentary lapse where he thought, okay, this is what I got to do. And we came out better in the second half. So maybe I think that's what happened.
I appreciate those adjustments that he made in the second half. That's something we're not used to seeing in our previous coaches.
Did it make it worth staying up at that point?
Yeah, it's always worth staying up. It's always worth staying up to watch Gala. But there's just a few things. Like we said, Torreira playing up front, I don't like it. And the second thing is some of our players looked very tired towards the end. It was alarming. And I said
we did play the Alanya game.
Sorry?
We played that cup game with Alanya, right? It wasn't too far, too long ago. I think there's some but we didn't play our full team.
Then
Martins look a little tired.
That's a good point, but these kind of things, it's just worrying. It's just worrying because these are the times that we can start to get cocky. Our teams can get cocky and get caught off. We almost got caught off this week. I'm scared it might happen next week because it's only a matter of time before we drop some points.
I'm expect because bro, you gonna drop some points somewhere along the line when everyone's like hyper analyzing you. Everyone wants to beat you because you're at the top, right? We're in the spotlight now. We're in the spotlight. You're gonna try to beat us.
Absolutely, but I don't want to drop points because we're tired. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to drop points because Oliveira couldn't take one step and touch the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'd rather lose because we lost, not because we're tired. It's just a shitty excuse in my opinion.
What do you think we should do then? More rotation so Oliveira can like rest?
Yeah, more rotation. Don't get cocky in the start of the game. I think it's just Antalya's game plan did make us run a lot as well. So that might have been just a one-time thing, and coupled with the fact that we had the cup game. I guess we'll see next week. If we still look tired next week, I think that's when we should start to make some sort of rotations. Because it's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Right. So I think Yasin maybe you can take us to the second half.
No, good points, guys. We can move on to the second half where there was a little bit more action for us to see. And it didn't take long, did it, for us to see the goal? Whatever Okan Hoca said, whatever the players talked about at halftime, whatever realizations that they had, it worked because 5 minutes after start time, in the 49th minute, Mario Cardi with a beautiful header into the far upper 90 from Kerem's cross. I mean, we were attacking, we were coming. It was just a matter of time. You know, I was happy that after the second half started, I was able to say to myself, okay, the goal is going to come. You can tell sometimes when the half starts, whether the first or second, whether it's going to be a good half or not. And that's the impression that I got with the second half. There were no subs. You know, there wasn't needed any subs, in my opinion, at halftime. And we were attacking. We were pushing the ball up. We got Rashica, Kerem involved. You know, they were taking turns getting into the midfield. And you had Mauro Cardi, obviously keeping the defenders busy in the box. And Kerem, you know, paid his respect back to Cardi after Cardi's been giving him all these assists the last couple games. Kerem said, okay, it's my turn to help you. And he commented about it after the game. He put in a beautiful dish cross right to Mauro Cardi, and then Cardi did what he does best. You know, header into the opposite direction the ball was coming from, which is absolutely nightmare for, you know, the biggest and best goalies in the world. And especially Mr. Helton, who was playing an exceptional game up until then. He couldn't do anything. He was watching because Mauro Cardi took that ball that was coming from the right side, flicked it higher into the upper left. The goalie just watched it go in. You know, Cardi did his thing. He scored. Unfortunately, Antalyaspor responded pretty quickly after that with their own header. Luis Adriano from a free kick that they had, which was actually kind of a controversial moment. If you guys want to talk about that real quick. They had one player, I think it was the Japanese guy, Shoya, who was clearly in offside position in front of Muslera. Everybody was lined up. The defensive line, all the strikers were in line with those guys. And Shoya was basically between that line and Muslera. And as a ball was about to be kicked in, Shoy started running back into onside position. But when the ball was played in, he was clearly offsides. And as the defensive line, including our defenders and their strikers, Luis Adriano in this situation, as they were going towards Muslera and trying to make contact with the ball, Shoya, while walking backwards, ran into Sacha Boey, who was basically defending Luis Adriano. I mean, it wasn't like an obvious, he wasn't, I don't know, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but he wasn't like exactly marking him man for man, but he was definitely sharing that responsibility with Icardi. And then Shoya, the Japanese Antalyaspor player, shoved Sacha, got in his way, and Sacha was not able to jump and defend that cross. Luis Adriano scoring in the process. That to me is offsides. It's tricky. You can get into the details of it, which I thought about. I tried to give myself reason to believe that it's not offsides.
It's not tricky at all.
But
Yeah.
It shouldn't be tricky. TFF and these refs have made everything so complicated, but in reality, that was offsides, wasn't it?
Let me tell you something. Hold on, Maz. I'll give you the mic right after. The guy in the VAR is the same dude that was in VAR, in VAR during the Antalya Fenerbahce game where Fenerbahce got that offside call, in their favor, because Haji Wright ran into Osai Samuel, and Osai Samuel, I guess Haji Wright didn't intentionally go towards, Osai Samuel. He was trying to, move out of the way, and Osai Samuel ran into him, right? That's what people are saying. So the guy ran into Sacha Boey. What is Boey supposed to do then, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's bull. It's bull. It's all bull. It's offside. It's more offside than that one, in my honest opinion, because offside, like the play was so far from the goal. Like the goal happened like 15, 20 seconds later. They had so much more time to defend that. So this one you can't really do anything about. Once the ball's in the air and you get body blocked, you're getting bodied like it's basketball, as if you're getting picked, bro.
Yeah.
And he can't defend himself, or he can't defend the ball. Jesus Christ. But Maz, what were you saying?
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same thing you said.
Okay.
It's 110% offside. It was very clear as day, and I was actually very surprised that they didn't disallow the goal. When you're offside and you're not doing anything, like you're not touching the ball, you're not touching the play, you're passive. Yeah. As soon as you touch someone, as soon as you touch the ball, anything, you are active. And like you said, this isn't basketball. You can't just run around and do that. You are offside, and it should be treated as such because you obstructed a player.
You could do it if you're onside. Like you can you can hold on to the guy,
of course,
right?
but not when you're offside.
Exactly.
You can't. So what is there going to be a new strategy where you're going to have your players running offside and just standing in certain positions so they can't defend against it? Like, what is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, is it a joke?
Yeah, it makes no sense, man. Absolutely no sense.
Yeah, man.
And,
just again, there's no quality, there's no balance, there's no consistency with these calls. I mean, a lot of Galatasaray fans, when we saw that call being made for Fenerbahce, we were like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? And then we're like, okay, I guess that rule makes sense. Okay, I didn't think about that. Fine, whatever. As long as that is played consistently across other leagues and other teams in the league, fine. And here we are in the same situation, same position, if not exactly identical. It's the same concept, and there's no call. This game could have finished 2-2. Antalyaspor could have scored from our own mistake, from their own ability, and we would have lost 2 points unnecessarily because of a wrong call. So we have to think about these things because the league is so close. And I'm curious if Erden Tümur is going to speak up, if he's going to say anything.
Okan Buruk mentioned it after the game, though. That's nice to see.
Yeah, he did. He's definitely consistently defending us, which is good to see. But it is what it is, I suppose. They tied the game that way. Soon after, they made a sub. Ex-Galatasaray player, ex-Fenerbahce player, Sinan Gümüş came on. He actually almost scored a crazy goal. Did you guys see that volley from the left side?
Yeah.
They played the ball over, and you think he was going to give a cross. It was almost towards the goal. Muslera saved it because that's Muslera. We ended up making subs at the 79th minute, which I thought was a bit late. I'm curious what you guys think. So we We took Rashica off. We made 2 subs at the same time in the 79th minute, and then 2 more in the 88th minute. At the 79th minute, we had Rashica come off for the ball. So, and then we had Emre touch Emre come off for Yunus Akgün. So yabancı for yabancı, Turk for Turk. So everything's balanced out. And then the 88th minute, we had Berkan Kutlu come on for Torreira. And we had Barış Alper Yılmaz come on for Kerem. What do you guys think of that, the subs? Did you think it was a good timing? Would you have seen something different?
I don't understand why people get caught up on what time the coach, subs in players. It's like, if a coach subs in at 45 or 55, that doesn't mean the game is going to automatically change for the better. It can go worse. You know what I mean? The only player that I thought that stayed way too long on the field was Rashica. He was having a horrible game. Otherwise, we were pretty much in control. There really didn't need to be much in terms of changes, man.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think the changes were on time. For the most part, I say, apart from Rashica. And as far as what I think about the changes.
Okay.
Enough with the tactical analysis. Let's talk about Icardi.
Let's do it. Go ahead.
I'm just sitting in my seat. I'm just waiting for someone to bring him up.
Go for it.
What a player! 9 games, 10 goal contributions, and 6 of them are goals. I think I can talk about this guy all day. His finishing, his passing. I don't remember the last player we've had or anyone's had in Super League that has been this quality, this class. Like,
I don't know how we got him, bro.
I don't know either. It's every time I watch it, I'm just like, this guy is so good. Like this in the 4th minute as well, at the start of this game, he did like a no-look pass to Sasha Bowie, and where he just missed, we had like a finesse from the edge of the box. I don't remember the last striker we had that could make a no-look pass like that. Most of the strikers we'd have would just hold the ball and just take a dig or just lose the ball in the box or something. I just love watching this guy so much.
It's crazy because I never expected him to be this connected to the club, man. It's like, he had this recent interview where he's like, being single is like being a sultan or whatever. I don't know the exact translation, but I assume the context is he's free, right? And he's saying that he's more focused on the team. And I never expected that from Icardi. Nobody expected Icardi to be, most thought he was going to come here, just sit on his ass, collect, his payments from PSG and just chill and enjoy Istanbul. No, this man is committed. He gets along with everybody, bro. I don't know any striker that's been this compatible with Kerem. He's getting Kerem. Kerem needs to step up his game. That 1 assist barely counts. Icardi made that happen, bro. That's not. I don't really call that an assist. Okay, and dude, it's amazing because not only is a striker, dude, that finish, that corner finish, is just immaculate. Nothing you can do about that. And not only can he finish, bro, this guy can play as like a number 10 almost, like a makeshift 10. Sometimes he sets up plays better than Mertens does.
Yep.
It's immaculate. Immaculate. And this guy's a fisher, man. He gets his job done and he flies to Argentina. I don't know if he's going to simp for Wanda or not, but he's efficient.
He's a character for sure.
Yeah, I actually read he went to Paris. Not Argentina.
He went to Paris.
Yeah, that's what I read from one source, and that makes you wonder, why is he going to Paris? Are there talks to be held?
Maybe he found the new Yenge.
Maybe new Yenge. Maybe he's talking to his club about something else regarding the club. Galatasaray, PSG. Let me go. Maybe not.
I think we get him.
The Metin Oktay, let me go. I want to play for Galatasaray.
I think we get him at the in the next transfer break. I'm serious.
That would be amazing.
If our wingers learn to pass to him and he starts scoring more, then I think we'll get him.
What's he gonna do at PSG? The French media doesn't like him. That's the whole reason why when we got Icardi, half our fan base said, "What are you guys doing? This guy's a nutcase." Because this guy, he wasn't getting it. Well, who's he going to play? Look at PSG's forwards. He's not going to get any game time there. And all they were just talking about him and his, ex-wife or girlfriend, whatever it was. So I don't think he wants to go back to that. I think he enjoys being at Gala. I think he enjoys banging goals left, right, and center. And when he doesn't, you can tell he's upset when he doesn't score.
Yeah, he definitely has a passion. And I feel like a broken record when I say this, but that dude didn't come here to just party and get by and get paid. The guy is a footballer. He loves to play football. He likes to get involved. He likes to help others on the field. He's not he's not selfish. He's not there, give me the goal, give me the ball. Why didn't you play it to me? He's not the striker that gets the ball and shoots, makes things complicated. If he doesn't have a clear shot, he passes the ball. He's always thinking in advance. He's a smart player. There's one position where the ball was coming to him. Maybe even twice it happened. He back flicks the ball to the guy that's coming on perfectly he sets him up for a shot when the defender and our own strikers, our own wingers are sometimes not even expecting it. So he's clearly levels above everybody else, and the guys need to catch up soon. They need to catch up and understand what he is giving to them, and they need to catch up and understand what he's looking for. That's Rashica. The amount of times that he should have been able to play a good cross in, he didn't. That's Kerem not finding it, taking the shot instead of passing it. These guys need to kind of step up their game. And, I think they have the ability, but I think we're lacking. I think we can score even more goals if we are a little bit more careful, if we're a little bit less selfish, if we're a little bit more precise with the ball that we're trying to play, which, again, I think everybody's capable of. We just need to focus a bit more. But it's not a complaint by any means. It's a beautiful sight to see, honestly. I hope he doesn't get too frustrated, because I definitely see him frustrated out there.
Yeah, do whatever you can, make this man happy. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I do have a question for you guys, though. Who was the last Super League striker that was this good? Objectively.
That's a good question.
Objectively.
Good as in, I think I've said this before. I like Abu Bakar a lot. What he did for Besiktas is kind of crazy. He carried that team on his back.
He wasn't as good as Icardi.
I liked...
No, I'm well, you said who's as good.
No. Who's as good as Icardi? I don't think anyone is at Icardi's level now.
Are you speaking present. Now? Oh, past as well.
Past and present. The only one that comes to mind is Jardel.
Yeah, Jardel was
Drogba came. He was old. He had come from China, I think, at the time. He was old.
In recent history, I would say a striker that really made a presence for me was Mario Gomez on Besiktas. That dude was a machine. The ball came to him, he scored it. No matter what the ball was like, no matter what the opportunity, how easy or difficult it was, he set up players as well. He was just a machine. But is he Icardi's level? Probably not. But to answer your question, that's the closest. I mean, I fell in love with him. I'm not gonna lie. At the time he came, but recent history, nobody else. Drogba, like you said, he was good, but he was clearly old. He made it obvious he was.
There's
old.
No one in this league right now.
No,
there's no one
now.
No
Past,
way.
present, no one.
The closest that comes to him is Abu Bakar. That's the closest that comes to him.
This is the best striker that we have ever seen in the Super League. Maybe Jardel. Maybe he was just as good. I'm a bit too young to comment on that.
Haji said Icardi is the second best that he's ever seen, following Jardel.
Who said that?
So that's also merit. So Haji said Jardel is the greatest striker he's ever seen play in the Super League, and then Icardi
Haji said
would
that?
be the second best. Haji said that, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, cool.
And here I thought I was talking out of my ass.
Well, you're onto something, Mazhar.
I'm onto something.
Mazhar just called himself.
I'm just
am I Haji?
Am I a tactical genius?
But yeah, man, he's good. He's good. And it's important for him to stay consistent and focused, right? That was one of the other issues that people have been concerned about. Can he stay focused with all the drama going outside and, in his personal life? So far, he's proven that he can stay focused. As long as he can separate the two. When he's here, he trains, he helps his teammates, he gets them involved, he scores goals. He helps us win the league. Otherwise, his personal life is personal life. Hopefully the two don't commingle and it starts to affect his performances. He's 28. He's not 20 years old where that risk is more prevalent, but still, you never know. It's Icardi, unfortunately. So
he's a family man. I like Icardi, man. He's a mensch. He's a family man. He's always with his family. You don't really see him go out as much as people say he does. I don't know if I might be talking out my ass, but I always see him with his kids, man.
Yes, he also goes out too, though. Sometimes you see him at a nightclub or something with a selfie and a drink which is okay. Like, you know, if he's gonna,
Everyone goes out
if
from
his
time to
if his
time.
wife is in
Yourself.
Argentina, you know, unfortunately sleeping with other men sometimes, which is the reality of the case. The guy can if he's staying in Istanbul because he has a game in a few days, let him do his thing. Again, if it doesn't get involved, this is personal life. I'm not a fan of Mario Kart's personal life. I'm a fan of Galatasaray. As long as it doesn't affect that, I'm okay with it. I'm sure other teams, analysts, people who are against Galatasaray are gonna be excited to talk about this and criticize, but whatever. It doesn't affect him, does it? His performance, at least.
Yeah. Speaking of performance, so the rest of the game, what do you guys think, man? I think, are you guys satisfied? That's what I should ask. Are you guys satisfied with what happened at the end of the game? Like everything from the 45th to the final whistle. Also, I should mention these refs, man, they're so sneaky. The first half, they ended the first half with the extra 2 minutes, but Galatasaray is winning. Let's tack on 9 extra minutes. You know, but when we're 0-0, let's not add extra minutes. These guys, man, they're sneaky.
Yeah, that was excessive. I mean, sure, there was a VAR position, there was a red card or whatever it was. Red card came in extra time, so that doesn't count. There were 2 goals. There was a VAR position, and fine, that stuff adds up. But 9 minutes, like, if you're gonna give 2 minutes in the first half after they wasted all that time, then keep it consistent. You know, give 6 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is. The jump to 9 is a bit suspicious. And Okan Buruk called that out as well after the game, which I'm happy about.
Yeah, love Okan Buruk, man. So happy he's doing well.
Yeah.
He's 12 for 12 now, lads, including cup games. I think he broke a history record.
Yeah.
Since since the league was formed.
Yeah, and 12
I'm
out
so
of
happy
12,
for him,
just
man.
to make things clear, it's not Super League games, that's inclusive of cup games too. So I think from that perspective, he broke the record. However, I believe he's tied at 9 for Super League games back-to-back with Fatih Terim. I think he did it a few times. So
I heard it was 8 for Fatih Terim, and I think he broke Fatih Terim's record.
I heard it was 8.
I could be wrong.
I heard it was 9, and because I heard both, I'm just going to assume it's 9.
I think it was 9. I think it was 9 as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure we would have seen like an official post from Galatasaray Twitter saying that, you know, he broke the record if that was the case. So hopefully next week we beat Giresunspor away. They're always a tricky team to play, but, you know, 10 out of 10 would be nice to break the record. Let's see what happens there.
What's your predictions, boys, against Giresunspor? You would see any changes in the starting 11?
Changes in the start?
Our MVP, Torreira, needs to play, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There's going to be no Abdülkerim, no Nelson, so make your predictions according to that.
Well, I mean, Nelson, I'm not sure if I answered your question before, if we saw anything official.
like potentially.
Yeah, I didn't say anything, and I'm sure we would have heard something from, you know, a journalist saying that he's getting checked or whatever it is. We haven't seen anything like that, so I'm going to assume he's fine until then. Otherwise, in the back 4, I guess we'll see one of Emin Bayram or Metehan Baltacı. And personally, I'd rather see Metehan.
Ooh, Samet's favorite.
Yeah.
Same. I'd rather see him.
Yeah, he's more composed than Emin Bayram, and he has just more experience in the not maybe the Super League, but the second league. They both went on loan, fine, but Metehan played way more games. He did it over 2 seasons as like the A-team player. Like he was always playing, and he won a championship with the last team that he was at. So he has that winner mentality. He has that ability to, you know, you see it in his play too. He's just way more relaxed than Emin Bayram is. I love Emin Bayram. But Emin Bayram, to me, is sometimes a little bit... He doesn't give me 100% confidence in the back. I've seen him make mistakes in the friendlies before the season started. I think he has a lot of potential. But in a game like this, I'd rather see Metehan. I just don't know if Okan will do that because I think Emin Bayram has been the first priority between those two in friendlies and as a sub this season. I'm not sure if Okan is going to all of a sudden switch that up.
Yeah. You guys know me. I don't make predictions. So far, I've been helping you guys out or to team out, I suppose. I got a nice little streak going here. So, Maz, what's your prediction, bro? What do you think will happen?
I agree with Yasin. As far as the starting 11 goes, I think we'll see Metehan. I don't think Okan will do anything experimental like what we've seen from previous coaches. I don't think we'll see like a fullback or a midfielder in centre back. I think we'll absolutely see Metehan. I don't trust Emin Bayram to be in centre back, especially not now when we have such a nice streak going and when the pressure's really on us. And you know, every other team's out there, they're looking for our heads. They're gonna do everything to try and beat us. So I guess we have to wait and see. But I think we do see Metan in centre back, and I think we do end up with a W at the end of it.
Well, Maz, do you think we might see Rashid's benched and maybe Barish or Yunus play instead?
Absolutely.
And then we'll see what's his name, Dubois play left back as a Yabancı instead of Emre Taşdemir. So we might do that little switcheroo, which is something that surprised you at the beginning of this game. I would not be surprised just because of Rashid's performance. It hasn't been terrible, but it has not been good either for, in my opinion, way too many games now. I would like Okan Hoca to be like, okay, enough is enough. Yeter. Like, let's switch it up a little bit. And I think away, Barish might be a good idea. Yeah, go on.
The thing with Rashica, it's okay. He didn't have the best game in terms of attacking, in terms of the offense, but he always does his duties with running back. I think that's what I do like to see about him. You always see him track back. Mm-hmm. You don't always see Kerem track back, for example. He does get caught out in a couple of times where I'm like, okay, he shouldn't be there. He should be a bit more back. But Rashica's always running back. That's something I do like to see. But like you said, he didn't play the best defensive game. A few crosses just didn't connect. And yeah, he will most likely be benched, maybe subbed on later on. But we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully we come out with the win, man. That's all we can ask for.
Hopefully,
I'll
predict the win too. I mean, Giresunspor's tricky. They're like our kryptonite, unfortunately. It pains me to say that. I would love it if I support both teams, but Galatasaray should always be the one winning in this case. We'll see. Giresunspor makes things tricky for us and all Istanbul clubs, and they know that. They're going to come into this game knowing that they can very easily upset us again. So we cannot come out to that game, less focused. We can't come out to that game saying it's another win. We're going to make it 10 in a row. We're the first in the league. It's another win. We can't go in with that mentality. So the first 5-10 minutes of that game is going to be very important. None of the other guys are really injured or suspended. So I expect a full lineup against that team, against Giresunspor that game. So I'm still going to predict a dub, but I think it's going to be a close one. I'm going to say another 2-1.
Okay, 2-1.
Yeah.
Hopefully we come back with that 2-1. Hopefully no one gets injured. I wish the team, Okan Buruk, the best of luck. And with that said, like Icardi, it's time for us to fly on out of here. We'd like to thank everyone that stayed with us till now. Again, you guys are awesome. If you guys can please like and subscribe. If you guys got any questions for us, you know where to find us. We're on Twitter, on Instagram at the Lions Den GS, guys. With that said, take care of yourselves, stay hopeful, and peace out.
See you.
Yeah.